Good morning to everyone, or I'm sorry, good afternoon. I'm not looking at my time. Good afternoon to everyone at today's public hearing of the Prosecutor Vetting Commission. My name is Christopher Lehman. I'm the chairperson of the commission, and I declare this session to be open. Our commission was established under Law 252 on the external evaluation of judges and prosecutors. Article 22, paragraph 13 of that law provides that this commission will assess candidates for the Superior Council of Prosecutors, Discipline and Ethics Board according to the procedure and criteria regulated under Law 26 of 2022 on measures related to the selection of candidates for the positions of members in the self-administration bodies of the prosecutors. This hearing is also being conducted under the Commission's Rules of Procedures for evaluations under Law 26 of 2022. The subject of today's hearing is Eugenia Zubco, a candidate for the Superior Council of Prosecutors, Discipline and Ethics Board. Ms. Zubco, welcome. I'd like to introduce the other commissioners who are with me here today. From my far right, Nadezhda Hryptievsky, Irmantis Mikalonis. To my immediate right, our Vice Chair, Virginia Mararu. To my far left, Cornel Lebedinsky, and to my immediate left, Saskia de Vries. Commission is also assisted by members of our Secretariat. The hearing is open to the public and members of the media. The hearing is being conducted in interpretation into both Romanian and English. And to allow for accurate interpretation, I would ask everyone to speak slowly and clearly. The proceedings are being recorded, and the recordings of the Commission's public hearings are made available 3 days after our hearing on the Commission's website. Ms. Zubco, during the hearing, one or more members of the Commission will ask questions to you. It's important that you answer them truthfully and completely. Your explanations are very important to the Commission in our evaluation of your financial and ethical integrity. In formulating our questions, we will take into account your privacy and where required and possible, privacy of your family members and close persons. So we will leave out any unnecessary details relating to ID numbers, bank account numbers, specific addresses of real estate, and the same. And I would ask you, for your own protection in answering our questions, you do the same to protect your own privacy. At the end of the hearing, you'll be given an additional opportunity to make a closing statement to the Commission. I'll start by briefly reviewing the evaluation process to date for the candidate. The Commission initiated our evaluation process on the 22nd of December, 2023, by notifying the candidate by email and asking you to complete and return both the ethics questionnaire and the financial declaration form. You did return the completed questionnaire and declaration forms as requested on December 29 of 2023. As part of the evaluation of the subject's ethical and financial integrity, we also obtain information from a variety of other sources, such as the National Integrity Authority, the State Fiscal Service, the General Inspectorate of the Border Police, other public institutions, financial institutions, and other open source information. The Commission assesses the information it obtains from those sources for its relevance and credibility. The Commission also sent you 4 rounds of questions. Those were sent on the 8th of July, 2024, the 24th of July, the 4th of September, and the 4th of October, 2024, and you responded to all of those. On the 9th of October of this year, the Commission invited you to attend today's hearing. At that time, we notified you of the specific topics that would be addressed at this hearing. Eugenia Zubco, again, I want to thank you for appearing today. I'll begin with a couple of questions for you, and I will ask you to respond in a complete and truthful manner to my questions. First, I just want to ask if you wish to make any additions or corrections to any of the answers that you've previously provided to the Commission.
Hello everyone, esteemed Commission, esteemed Chairperson. I don't have any additions or corrections to the question, to the answers provided before. One clarification, actually made it in writing yesterday and today. Given that today I am part of an administrative procedure, I have the rights provided for in the administrative code, and I believe that the right to defense, I should be able to exercise it entirely, and I would like to understand what's the relevance of information that are represent bank secrecy from my evaluation file with respect to the former Prosecutor General VZ.
Do you want to answer that? Yes.
Esteemed Madam Zubco, you received an answer in writing. Or maybe you didn't see it. Maybe you were at work. The Commission communicates with candidates in writing. You received your answer. And if you have additional questions, we will be able to continue to that by email after the hearing. But I came to the hearing. This is not related to the hearing topics. Therefore, any clarification will be done by email. That's what the regulation of the Commission, rules of procedure of the Commission provide for, and Law 26. We do communicate by email. I understood. If it is not related to today's hearing, it's okay, as long as it doesn't. So, thank you. Okay.
Just a follow-up question. I want to clarify that the answers that you provided on the 29th of December 2023 in your 5-year declaration, in your ethics questionnaire, do those remain accurate as of today?
Esteemed Chairperson, absolutely all answers are valid with some slight corrections. For instance, 2 days ago, I received some materials that I did not have when I was providing answers to round 4 of questions. So it may be that I would be able to provide more data today than before because I did not have them when I answered round 4. Today I know, I remember, so everything is correct.
Thank you. At this point, Nadia Hriptievsky will continue with the questioning.
Thank you, Chairperson. Ms. Zubco, we will discuss an issue that you were notified about in relation to the purchase of an apartment in 2023. This is the topic for discussion, and subsequently, if there is anything else, the members will add to it. On 17th of May 2023, you purchased an apartment in Chisinau municipality at the price of 45,000 euros, that is 871,808 lei. You provided a copy of a sale purchase contract to the Commission. And when asked about the sources of funds for the apartment, you explained that you took a bank loan to cover a part of the needed amount, 540,000, and you received a donation of 25,000 euros from your brother. Is that right? It is, esteemed member of the Commission. Some of the questions will be simple, just for clarification purposes, and you will have later on the possibility to add whatever you deem necessary. According to the donation contract of 27th March 2023, authenticated by notary, your brother donated to you this amount in cash, 25,000 lei. Sorry, 25,000 euro. You also declared this donation in your declaration of assets and personal interests for 2023. Is that correct?
Correct.
I think I declared it for the year 2023, but I declared it in 2024. Yes. When asked about source of funds for your brother's donation, in the written communication with the Commission, you explained that he gathered that amount from his salary as a driver, where he worked since 2015. And I'm sorry I gave out the name of a country, a European country. No, yes, since 2015 in a European country, he's been working there. And he's been working as a taxi driver all of the time or various jobs? No, he has never worked as a taxi driver. With respect to the apartment and the purchase of the apartment, I received questions only in the first round. About the donation from my brother, I really received questions repeatedly and I can't recall exactly. I always answered that my brother did not work as a taxi driver. Since 2015, when he left to that European country, he has worked, he's still working as a driver, not a taxi driver. As he always told me, and I know, unfortunately, I didn't manage to go visit him, but he's transporting furniture, house appliances from the manufacturing or ordering point to the people's households. I will clarify later on why I asked, because it wasn't clear what kind of driver he was exactly. You also mentioned in writing that your brother worked officially in that European country based on a contract, and he earned a monthly salary of over 1,500 to 2,000 euros. Yes, always officially, and he always earned a salary of between 1,500 and 2,000 euros. Can you explain how did your brother donate you this money, in cash or by bank transfer? In cash, that's what I declared, that's what happened in front of a notary. So he brought this amount to the Moldova at one time or partially? Esteemed Madam Nadezhda, he couldn't have brought it at one time because he would have had to declare it in customs. He brought it by partially. It wasn't only him bringing it, other friends and acquaintances of his, of my family. Since he did not, the fact that he was not coming alone to the country, you can check the border crossings. You can check it since 2019 to up to date because you can check only 5 years. But since 2015, he's been coming back to the country. He comes once or twice a year, so he always brought certain amounts of money up to 10,000 euros. Otherwise, there would have been customs declarations if the amount was higher than 10,000 euros. So he was always bringing cash, even though since 2021, he gets his salary on a card. But before that, before 2021, and before the current employer, as he told me, and I did not get very deep into that topic because it does not regard me. But before that, he worked for another employer and in that case, salary was paid different ways, not only on card but in cash as well. Thank you. So the money he was bringing were kept where? Until the moment the money was given to you? I mean, you don't have to give details. The question is like, were you the one keeping or someone else? It wasn't me. No way. Thank you. You provided the Commission with a copy of your brother's last employment contract that he signed on 1st of April 2021 and proof of his salary payments ever since. The donation took place on 27th of March 2023, respectively. According to the documentation you provided for a commission to calculate your brother's income, we took into account the income he had since 1st of April 2021 until the end of February 2023. That means 23 months, correct? According to the documentation that you provided about your brother's income. I did not understand your question. What exactly is correct? The employment contract of your brother was signed on 1st of April 2021. Is that right? Yes, that is right. The donation was made on 27th of March 2023. correct? According to the documents. So unfortunately, I don't have them in front of me, but yes, that means that the actual period that the Commission could check his income for is 23 months, between April 2021 and February 2023. I think the Commission could have checked more. This Commission had this from me. I don't know. At least I cannot request anything from authorities in that country about my brother, but I would have liked the Commission to have done it. If we rely on documentation provided by me, then yes, that's what was provided, and that is correct. According to the salary received over those 23 months, your brother earned altogether the amount of 37,886 euros. You have the amounts in front of you. Out of them, he donated to you 25,000 euros. That means 65% of his income for all that time. The Commission told you about these amounts. You did not appeal, which meens you do not object. That means you communicated them to me before the meeting. I do not have right now all the contracts that I provided to the Commission, but if that's exactly based on those contracts and confirmation of salary payments, then it is correct. In the second round, you received all these amounts summarized, where we asked you if you have anything to add, and you had that table, if you remember it, with the monthly amounts. Now, besides this amount, you mentioned that besides the salary, your brother was getting tips, and that's why we asked the clarification, because it wasn't clear what kind of tips we meant. That varied between 10 to 50 euros per client, and that was used by your brother for his daily expenses. And obviously, there is no documentation for tips. Is that right? Yes. Do you know if in Germany tips are declared and taxed? I don't know. I presume it's probably how it's right here, not very much declared. My brother did not tell me he declared the tips. If he declared, probably, for your question, what was the amount of the tips, I would be able to provide an answer. But generally, in your discussions with your brother, did he tell you how many clients per day he had, like 1, 2, 3, or you don't have such information? I do not have such information. Again, I have never asked him very much about his salary and his expenses. When I talked to him, he always told me that my tips is enough for my current maintenance. I never even asked him about his rental. I mean, before I received these questions from you, I never asked. You know, in my discussions with him or my parents talking to him, that's what he is saying. Like, today I earned 50 euros and I'm going to the shop, to the store. In the written question rounds, you confirmed that between April 2021 and February 2023, your brother paid rent 350 euros per month. That was besides his regular expenses. About rent, I cannot say precisely if that was since April 2021. I cannot say if that amount started there. What I know is that this is how much he pays now. He did not have to pay rent until that time because the other, I was telling you about the other employer, but if between April 2021 and now that is the amount of pay of rent, I don't know, but this is the rent right now. That's what I know. We understood from your answer that that was the amount, and if you need a clarification, we can come with a written question. Yes, but I can ask him if this was always the amount he paid rent as rent or not. Now, regarding your brother's income, between 2015 and April 2021, in your written communication with the Commission, you said that you cannot provide any document because your brother worked for an employer who did not give him a written contract and was paying his salary half in cash and half on the bank account. Is that right? That's partially true. He, my brother, with his previous employer, had a contract. He was officially employed. In the question rounds, I actually mentioned that I cannot give you a copy of that contract because that former employer, that's when I found out and concluded, was not the fairest employer. And my brother realized that when he came to the new employer, because the biggest difference was that the new employer told him that you have to keep these salary payment slips. That's what he told. So he told him that you may need these salary slips within an 8-year period. Also, this new employer, when making salary payments, so he paid salary, he keeps paying salary only by bank transfers. So when I was curious and I asked him, how was it before that? And he said that probably the previous employer, who knows, maybe he had more specific relationship with that state. So maybe he was not paying all the taxes to the state, therefore part of the salary was paid on the card, part of it was paid in cash. And the newcomer to that country, who did not know that many things, well, that was acceptable for my brother. It was okay, he did not have to pay rent, got the same salary. It was just partially on a card, partially in cash. It was okay for him. But when he moved to this new employer, he realized that something was happening with the previous one. I understood that. Also from the written communication, we understood that the employer, for all that period of the previous employer, between 2015 and April 21, provide him rent free of charge. Yes, that's what my brother told me. Well, given that part of the money was paid by bank transfer, could you explain why your brother cannot obtain any information, like bank information, because it must have been his account, maybe not the same account, but still another account of his, some information about his income until April 2020. I told him that it would be necessary to obtain such a confirmation, but until this time of the hearing, he did not, let's say, he did not study law. He does not necessarily understand how to justify things, and he doesn't actually understand the need for this. But I told him to go to the bank and try to obtain that confirmation, at least of that part of the salary. I don't know how much he was receiving in cash, how much he was getting in card, but to get a confirmation at least of that part that was coming on his card. But until the moment of the hearing, he did not get that. He's working and he's coming home only for vacation. Well, if the Commission comes with a request to this end, maybe you can check if he could provide at least some information, and I will explain why. In the written communication with the Commission, you confirm that your brother bought a car in 2019 at the price of 14,500 euros. Is that right? My brother bought a car. I don't remember the price. The price is the one that I provided because that's when I asked him, so I don't remember it now. It was purchased in 2019. It was also 2019, in March, you purchased the car, for which you declared in writing to the Commission that your brother helped you. Your brother and your father donated jointly an amount of approximately 70,000 lei, that is an estimated 3,500 euros. Is that correct? Yes, it is correct. Do you know, out of that amount of 3,500, how much came from your brother and how much came from your father? Unfortunately, I don't know. There was no agreement of sorts. You know, if I didn't know I had this position that I have and the processes that were going to happen, I probably wouldn't even made the 2023 donation at a notary because, well, my brother is where he is. This is a relationship between siblings, but in 2019, well, the amount was smaller. He was my brother, my father. They knew more about cars, and we somehow agreed, yes, we are buying. We checked how much I had, and they put the remainder. But I don't know how much each of them put in. We are asking these questions in the context that if we look at the car, 14,500 euros in 2019, the donation for you, where he added those 3,500 or less, just what we want to clarify is you state that for the donation in 2023, for the 25,000 euros, your brother used savings that he made before April 21 as well, for which we have no confirmation, or he just used or exhausted his savings in 2019, and maybe we're talking about money starting in 2020. This is the question where we would really like for you to explain us things. Of course, he used savings from before 2021, 2019, the savings he gathered since 2015. And I would like to clarify that my brother has never been generous with spending. You saw he purchased the car for himself, otherwise he had no big purchases. He has no dependents. I will provide some later on some details, some understanding between siblings. He knows that I really wanted to have an apartment of my own. He also knows that working in Chisinau, and my parents are in Orhei, I lived in a different apartment for a long time, which did not belong to me. I was often going to my parents, but at the same time, I wanted to have an apartment of my own, and he always insisted, maybe you buy one for yourself. I hesitated a lot. I couldn't just make my mind up to buy it. I didn't need it that much. And with these donations, the same. I can't say this donation, the bigger amount. I can't say I accepted it easily because I know how things are here. And I saw the apartment in January 2023 for the first time, not in May 2023 when I bought it. I told him about this apartment. I have pictures since January 2023. I showed it to him, and he said, maybe you buy it, maybe you buy it. I postponed it until May 2023, until when I couldn't stay in the other apartment anymore. And then I somehow decided on that apartment. But in March 2023, he came home and said, maybe you buy an apartment this year, let's go to the notary. Otherwise, I wouldn't have accepted to get money from him because the amount is so large. But to provide some more details, I hope the Commission will not ask for confirmation documents for that, but there was a discussion about us. We have a parents' house, and if you buy something in Chisinau, well, fortunately, our parents are doing well, but if you are in Chisinau, it means that the house will be left for me. But that was such a discussion, so there is no open inheritance process. Just may God help my parents and keep them healthy. This is just some explanation. Clear. You anticipated things a little bit. Thank you for your answer. I just want to say that this understanding was your parents' house to your parents and the apartment for you. Is that what you meant? Yes, exactly. But this is not confirmed. That's Look, to conclude the questions so far, your brother, since April 2021 to February 2023, had an income of 37,886 euros. He spent for rent, according to the information that you provided to us in writing, but you please do check it and inform us if it's wrong. He spent 350 euros a month, which means 8,500 euros. 8,050 euros, sorry. So, which means he had disposable amount of 29,836 euros. Out of them, he donated 25,000 euros. That is 84% of the disposable income that he had. That means that he spent, over that time, 210 euros a month in that period. So that's where doubts arise. Do you know if that amount is enough for the region where he lives in that European country? Well, I will go back to the answer I gave you earlier. I told you my brother did not have income only between April 2021 and February 23. My brother had income before that as well. Besides, I understand that the financial profile of my brother was attempted to be developed, but since he is in another country, and let's say rent and the other salary, I will be able to confirm his previous salary and rent, but still, it's a difficulty for the Commission that tips and the amounts that he earns 5 days a week for his daily expenses, food, clothes, I don't know what other expenses he has, but the Commission will not be able to add that to this financial profile chart. But I think it's wrong to neglect that at the same time. That's how he always worked, and some friends of his who are in Moldova right now, they work together with him, so they could confirm that. But again, I don't know if 200-something euros is enough for a person to be able to have a living in that region. Probably not, because even in Moldova that amount is not enough. However, I'd like to claim again, my brother had other income as well, and he had income for a period going beyond April, the period of April 2021 to February 2023.
Thank you very much. You partially replied, but I still want to ask this question, and then if the other members of the Commission will have questions, we'll ask them. We understand that these are the relationships between siblings, and it's something to appreciate if they help each other. However, this amount seems quite high, and the question is why, in the end, the brother donated this amount to you and not borrowed it? Or do you have any understanding? For him, this is not a neglectable amount, even if he has incomes. So obviously, this is an effort from your brother. Why did he donate this money to you? Do you have an understanding to help him in other ways, or no? The help among siblings is beyond. I don't know how to phrase this. Any payments. The only understanding was the one that I mentioned earlier. I did not have any understandings, other understandings with him. We didn't even think about this. I didn't think about borrowing this from him. I loaned from the bank what was missing. So the understanding was that you buy the apartment, you will live there, and if I come to Chișinău, I will have a place to live. I will not be living with strangers. We will see what happens with the house of the parents, because we don't have any other real estate properties, and we'll see, maybe you will give up your share, or somehow we'll split the house. But since I'm working in Chișinău currently, I don't think I would go back to my home city. So we have not concluded any contract that I will give up my share. This is why I did not mention this in the written questions, because I don't have any written documents on this, confirming documents. But you know, these relationships between parents and children children, between siblings. They are not always involving written documents or supporting documents. Thank you. Dear members, I have asked all my questions.
Just a few questions as a follow-up. You had mentioned that the 25,000 euro in cash was held by somebody else here in Chisinau or in Moldova. Can you tell me who held on to this cash that your brother had brought back from that European country?
I hope I'm not exposing everyone. This was kept by my father. I'm not sure if he has any currently.
And did you know about the existence of this cash before you received it?
I knew that my brother had money from his salary and from the activity that he carries out in Germany. I didn't know what amounts he had or he was bringing to Moldova. I never knew, not even when we went to the notary public did I know what amount he had. He said he could help me and he could donate to me 25,000 euros.
And at some points during the discussion today, you used the term borrow. And I wonder if there was an understanding that this is a loan from your brother?
Actually, Madam Hriptievsky asked why he did not borrow this amount to me. This was never an option. We concluded a donation contract, so this does not involve any obligation from me. This was in written. And I'm telling you what are discussions I had with him. This is not an obligation. I can't say this will happen because many things can happen. But we never discussed about borrowing the money.
Okay. Nothing more from me. Does anyone else have any questions?
Nu, doar în cazul în care doamna Zubco vreți să faceți orice.
Only if you, Madam Zubco, would like to have some comments or additional explanations. If not, this will conclude the topic on the apartment. I understand. So this topic was focused on the donation from my brother. If I need to clarify anything else related to apartment, I'm ready to do so. I have nothing else to clarify on the donation from my brother. The Commission will get back to you in writing if we need clarifications on what we asked today, especially on the incomes before 2021.
Any further questions? Then at this point, Ms. Zubco, we give you the opportunity to make a closing statement to the Commission.
Așteptam al doilea subiect.
I was waiting for the second topic. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, esteemed Commission. It was surprisingly short. I thought there would be a second topic. I think this was mitigated given the fact that the documents were received from the relevant bodies. I don't have a closing statement. Thank you for this exercise that I was involved in. I think it was difficult for you also. Moreover, that you have different candidates. I thank you and wish you success in the activity that you are carrying out now and, of course, later. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your participation in the hearing today and throughout the evaluation process. The Commission will deliberate and issue a decision in due course. As Ms. Hriptievsky noted, there may be follow-up questions, but if you don't hear from us, we'll move on to the decision. So at this point, the hearing is closed. Again, thank you.
Thank you.